It's me, Goku!
Two major stories coming out of the wrestling world today. One involving AEW and the future of their empire, and the second one involving a returning CM Punk and a marquee matchup that they have ready for him. Let's lock in. Starting with our first story today. As of May 5th, 5 days ago, Tony Khan announces that Wembley Stadium at All In has sold 60,000 tickets for £6.1 million and $7.7 million. This is one of the greatest success stories in wrestling history. And that was 5 days ago, so as of right now, I'd assume they should be 65, maybe 70,000 plus. When the original tickets went on sale to the general public, they only had maybe like 700 tickets left the first day, which means they have to open up more seatings, and they probably didn't expect to hit 60K, which is a clear indication that the people have definitely over-surmised and actually excelled at the excellence that AEW was not really expecting. They saw all these ticket sales and were like, wait a minute, now we gotta open more sections, hold on. AEW will also make their debut at the TD Garden July 19th in Boston, Massachusetts for a combo pack of Dynamite and Rampage. Tickets for this event will be going on sale May 12th, and I would assume the general sale is for the pre-sale, I should say, is already happening now. Now this next piece is going to be basically rumors in conjunction with a few tidbits of actual accurate information, which is why I'm starting with the rumors first. AEW and Warner Brothers have come to a new 5-year long $1 billion deal. Now the rumor that I'm seeing is apparently it's $1.1 billion. Regardless, the entire AEW package, meaning their pay-per-views, weekly TV, their streaming, their Rampage, anything AEW cataloged, anything that is licensed and owned by All Elite Wrestling, Warner Brothers is looking to essentially extend for another 5 years with that $1 billion agreement. So anything that's licensed by AEW as far as media entertainment. An announcement is expected from Warner Brothers / Discovery next week, and we have more information on that actual announcement. Now it looks like we might have some information here in regards to this Warner Brothers AEW deal per Dave Meltzer, which is why I was saying take it with a grain of salt. Dave Meltzer is reporting that the new TV deal and the announcement about the new Saturday night show, the rumored AEW Collision, will be announced at the theater at Madison Square Garden, which if you guys don't know, Madison Square Garden has like a smaller venue known as the theater. Basically, they've hosted NXT there once before. They've done numerous other events. It's a little bit more smaller, more an intimate setting for smaller entertainment and things like that. Now, to continue, there is no word on how much money AEW will be getting on the new deal. Matt Men's Andrew Zarian previously reported that the new deal will keep all of the programming of AEW exclusively to Warner Brothers, but Ring of Honor is not included. Ring of Honor shows will air on the Honor Club subscription service. Now here's where things get interesting. The Warner Bros. Deal could potentially include streaming, and there's been speculation that AEW programming / specials could air on the former HBO Max service that is being rebranded as Max. Now if you guys don't know, HBO Max is a subsidiary streaming service created by Warner Brothers once essentially AT&T bought out the Warner Brothers licensing media and all that stuff. And they were looking to launch a new streaming service that would go hand in hand with their DirecTV stream and all their media. The reason why AT&T even bought all this stuff is because they wanted to boost the DirecTV streaming in the first place. So they owned HBO, all that stuff, and then they launched HBO Max separately. Now there's a merger with HBO and Discovery, which is now going to be rebranded as Max. And the reason why that previous information was important is because they're going to be rebranded as Warner Brothers Discovery. And to continue with what I was saying before about the rumors, this question by Dan is actually a good one. Does this mean that the All Elite Wrestling pay-per-views would be on HBO Max, much like the WWE premium live events are on Peacock? And we get a response with, if the rumor is true, yes. And then he asked, will the streaming library be as well? Now, if Warner Brothers owns all of the licensing to All Elite Wrestling, the way that Fight TV, I believe it's Fight TV, has AEW Plus, which is currently $6.99, but it's only available to overseas clients. So if you have a VPN, you can use it. But basically, it's going to be like that, where all of the All Elite Wrestling, Dynamite, Rampage, Dark, all of their catalog was on Fight TV AEW Plus. And for that $6.99, it was a massive price. In a good way, I mean, like it was a phenomenal deal. But the downside is HBO Max, or now being named Max, it starts off at $9.99, and then they have a higher tier package for $15.99. So the problem with that I've always had with these type of streaming platforms is that originally they start off at one person and they gradually increase. And I understand it's because they acquire all these new IPs and they got to fund them and things like that. But what if, because there was a rumor as well that now that WWE is under the umbrella of Endeavor, that they were looking to kind of like start charging a little bit differently for premium live events, as far as more money, separate from the pricing of the Peacock that's already included for WWE. So if you pay, I think it's $10 a month for Peacock, you get ad free and it includes WWE. If they do the AEW route with Max here, it would be the same process. The only difference is you'd be paying $16 a month for ad free, where they may include AEW and all its programming, which they should here in the States because Fight TV already has that for AEW Plus overseas. So that would be the way for us to get it here in the States, similar to how WWE Network is available around the world, but in the States, it's Peacock. And I think that would be a great way to have more subscribers jump on Max, because let's be honest, man, they've been bleeding subscribers. I don't have a problem with paying $16 a month if I'm going to get all of AEW's catalog and the pay-per-views included. What I think they will do, though, is not include the pay-per-views, but Warner Brothers was rumored to want more events in general. For example, hypothetically, right, this is just me throwing something out there, they may do Battle of the Belts, but make it an actual like 2 to 3 hour actual event. Will they name them still premium live events? No, they're probably going to just be called something else entirely. But the actual Max could host, extra events for AEW, like the way that they do, the Battle of the Belts, or maybe they take away Blood and Guts and turn that into an event or something, so that they have more events to do maybe every other month instead of every 3 months, because I believe right now All Elite Wrestling does their pay-per-views quarterly, so Warner Brothers may want more. They may want one like hypothetically every month or every other month instead of every 3 to 4 months, right? So that would be something that we could see happening here on Max. In any case, that is the first part of the story. Let's move on to the next. I know that was a lot, and hopefully you guys understood what I meant. CM Punk has again been the topic of interest for quite some time, and AEW has major plans in a marquee match tentatively scheduled for Collision, which is rumored to be coming out June 17th in Chicago, Illinois as the first premiere episode. Major program for CM Punk. So here it is. AEW is slated to launch a new Saturday night show that is believed to be called Collision, with the idea is to build it up around a returning CM Punk. It will air as a 2-hour program on TNT starting June 17th, 2023. And that was part of the new deal that they acquired, where Dave Meltzer was saying that they may get roughly XYZ money for, X amount of money for 50 million, I think it was, for like per year or something like that for this deal. And it's going to help them out tremendously in their new Warner Brothers media deal and all this other stuff. And if you guys didn't see that video, I'll post it at the end screen here. But moving on, the idea is to separate him from those he's had issues with, and there will be some split of the talent roster. As previously reported on the episode of the AEW Collision, is expected to feature another major talent debut or return. And now, to break that down, people who don't want to work with Punk will be on Dynamite. People who wish to work with Punk will be on Collision. And if for whatever reason CM Punk is on Dynamite, then that week the people who don't want to work with Punk on Dynamite will go to Collision. And, because obviously Punk won't be exclusive to Collision. He'll be on Dynamite as well. Sean Ross of FIFO reported that there are major plans and a marquee match in schedule for the Collision show, with CM Punk pushing for a huge early match in his return. There have also been rumors of Punk's first program back being with Chris Jericho, as they did have a meeting recently. However, FIFO notes that Punk had pushed back for another return out of the gate. And I'm good with this, because I don't think they should go straight into it. I think maybe holding back a little bit would be pretty cool. Regarding the taping schedule, AEW has several Saturday dates lined up for Collision. Although when necessary, AEW may book the same venue 2 straight days on Wednesday and Thursday to tape all their content. That's insane, dude. That's fire. Okay, sorry. Sources indicated to FIFO that the Elite and Punk would occasionally appear on Dynamite and Collision when it's called for, despite the two sides still not resolving their issues. Now, in regards to the taping aspect, I think that's pretty cool, because they don't want to burn out the crowd recording, Dynamite, Rampage, Collision back to back. It'd basically be like an episode of freaking Grand Slam. Or if you guys don't know, Grand Slam usually starts at like around 7:30, and they used to record dark. and then from 8 to 10 it was AEW Dynamite, and then from 10 to like 12, or sometimes 10:30 to like 12:30 ish, was AEW Rampage Grand Slam, which was a 2-hour show that aired on TV. And sometimes those wouldn't end until like 1:30. So we'd be there from 7:30 to 1:30, which was, in my opinion, I was having a blast. It was great. But maybe doing that weekly, not the best idea if they're going to be doing Collision. So I think booking the same venue twice, I don't know if that would be a great idea either, since people may not have money to go to a show 2 days in a row. But again, you know, they could always announce which match and people can be like, well, I'll go to this one or this one. Either way, if they do that and they ever do it in my hometown, I'm going to both, because that's awesome. Going Dynamite, Rampage, and then the next day Collision and whatever, like that would be insane. With that being said, we're going to just briefly go over the AEW Dynamite card for tonight, which is honestly fantastic. Tony Khan has gone in to say that this is like a pay-per-view level card, and I'm inclined to agree with him. I love all these matches. Starting from the top, we have the main event, Kenny Omega, Jon Moxley steel cage match. Kenny Omega has gone on record saying that he thinks Jon Moxley is the MVP of All Elite Wrestling. I've gone on record saying numerous times that I think he's the ace of All Elite Wrestling, which is more or less a similar vernacular to describe an MVP. He's always been there when the company's needed him the most, and he's been on damn near every single show. He's been on every single show that I've ever gone to live, and that's just what it is. He's also had numerous matches where they were great. He's been the person to rely on when certain other people have had backstage problems. Orange Cassidy versus Danny Garcia for the IC title. We'll hear from Christian Cage in regards to his current feud with Wardlow, and how maybe Luchasaurus may not be down with the idea of Christian taking his TNT title match, so maybe they'll plant the seeds there. We're going to be having Anna Jas versus the House of Black's Julia Hart, which is also going to be fantastic because Anna Jay is the queen of, you know, no DQ matches and going extreme and stuff like that. Like, that woman, bro, she be going sick. We are going to hear from the House of Black, as well as them facing Bandido and Best Friends. That match is going to slap. We'll be hearing from FTR as they respond to Jarrett and Lethal's challenge. My guess is they'll accept it for Double or Nothing. And then we'll also have Rey Fenix versus Claudio Castagnoli in a double Jeopardy match. Now, what that means is, if Claudio wins, then the BCC get to challenge for the Ring of Honor tag titles. If Rey Fenix wins, then he'll be able to challenge Claudio Castagnoli down the line for the Ring of Honor World Championship. And that is pretty much it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Peace.